Sure.
Hello everyone and welcome to this beautiful sunny day. We're almost to Earth Day and a new moon as well, which is really exciting, and I'm here with one of the most special people to me, Lara Waldman, who is the abundance activator and author of Money Manifestation Mastery. And Lara has helped me so much on my journey and really supported me energetically in doing the work that I do. And I really honour Lara for that and her gift of light that she brings to the world. It's going to make me well up. So it's really exciting. Lara and I are going to have a chat about life, the universe and everything, about connection, about our place on the earth, about what's going on at the moment. And we're just going to see where it flows. So welcome everyone and welcome Lara.
Oh, thank you. That's so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And equally, I want to say, Juliette, you've helped me and my family so much. We take your remedies and all your great wisdom has been a huge contribution to my life. You inspire me all the time. Like every time I take my vitamin C powder mix and my medicinal mushroom mix, I'm thinking of you and all your inspiration around health and wellness through all levels. So thank you too.
Thank you. It's a mutual adoration.
It is.
It's always the best way, isn't it? So, you know, it'd be really nice to chat. Obviously, we're in a time of such change on so many levels, which is incredible. You know, I think for me, change, that chaos brings new life, it brings growth, and it's very hard sometimes to change and grow when we're comfortably numb, when we're in that kind of status quo that so many people have been in, with life just going on as normal, and everyday activities take over, don't they? And there's never time necessarily to work on those things and to delve deeper into ourselves and our place in this world. And I think now I feel like the cards have all been thrown up in the air, and the cards still up in the air and they're kind of lingering. And it's like, where are those cards going to fall? How are they going to lay out? What pattern, what creation do we want to bring with those cards as they fall down? Like what beautiful mandala do we want to create? That's kind of how I'm seeing it. What's your take on what's happening at the moment?
Oh, I like that visual image there. Yeah, so I see huge shifts and changes as well. That kind of chaos energy, you know, and it's something that I've learned to navigate through over the last 25 years of my life. And I know you have as well, with when you experience trauma and change and disruption. You know, so in a weird way, I feel like I personally have been preparing for this time, and I know you probably feel the same. But it's really, really interesting how unsettling and uncomfortable it can be. I mean, even for me, who's highly experienced moving through change and finding ways to thrive through change, it's very unsettling. I have, you know, huge compassion and empathy for, you know, all the fears and challenges that have been coming up. How I've been seeing it, it's like anything that's been hiding in the shadows that we haven't been paying attention to, that we haven't been acknowledging, it feels like there's a new level of having to face ourselves on a new level. Like there's no more hiding. It feels like everything is coming up to be cleared, but that process of everything coming up is so unsettling and so unnerving, especially when you don't understand what's happening. I do feel fortunate that I have the gift of understanding why everything's happening on a higher perspective. So that reassures me. But if you don't have that, it's like, what is going on and why is this happening? So what I know and from what I see is there's a divine intelligence at play where everything's being thrown up because we have to make change. We cannot continue as we're going. It is not sustainable. And we know, but we don't want to know, you know? It's like when you know something's not quite right, but you just want to push it to the corner. Like we cannot afford to do that anymore through every level and every area of our life. That's globally, collectively, but also if we all take a deep, honest look at our own personal lives and our own health and our relationships and how we're living and how we're working, it all needs to be reviewed. That's not comfortable.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, so it's intense. It's intense. And I feel like you know, the tools for self-care now are essential. It's not just nice to have. It's like how to kind of thrive through these times. There are ways to thrive through these times, but we can't continue as normal.
I think that's a really good point about the self-care, because I've noticed, you know, when the children are in school and when you have that routine, it's easy to slot in. Well, didn't used to be easy. Self-care was something I've always struggled with, and I've worked with you in it on the past as well. But I'd got a routine of how that self-care would look like, how I could structure it in with the kids at school and my youngest at nursery. And it was like, okay, I can slot work here, I can do self-care here. And suddenly it's like everyone's at home. I'm homeschooling 3 children. I'm trying to transform my business slightly, because a lot of it was physical and events and stuff that I did.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to transform my work around, and, you know, entertain the children, keep the house clean, cook 3 meals a day, you know, and suddenly you're like, you go out the window very quickly. And I've been pulling back on that the last week or so, because I felt myself really slipping into a space of not comfortableness with myself, with where I was at spiritually, energetically. And so I've really had to kind of go, hang on, no, I need to put a structure in place for me in these times so that I can keep doing the work I want to do and supporting people. Because otherwise, you know, as a healer or someone that gives, and a lot of people are out there are very giving people. I think a lot of women, men too, but a lot of women are in that role of giving to their children, to their partners, to, you know, they forget about themselves. And it's so easy to do that when you're busy and when you're trying to deal with stress. So I've really structured in going out for walks by myself, because I was doing it with everyone, which is great, but it's not the same.
No.
It's not that same level of like actually nourishing and looking after your being. And for me, just going and sitting by a tree or standing by a tree, and, you know, a lot of people aren't getting that physical contact as well with people at the moment. And, you know, if you lay on the ground, one of the things that I've been really loving doing, and I'm very blessed to be able to get cuddles from my husband and my children, but there's nothing like a hug from the earth, like from our real mother, the other mother that really holds us and supports us through everything. And for me, when I lay on the earth and I surrender into that, that is one of the most nourishing, self-caring things I can do, that restores myself, you know, in 30 seconds. It doesn't have to be a long thing, but I feel my whole being recharging. Or when I sit by a tree and I just feel myself realigning, and that, oh, it's okay then. And no matter what the kind of stuff you've read on Facebook or stuff you've read in the newspaper, or no matter what's, you know, the stress of the children or any of that stuff, it all just, for me, just seeps away into the earth. And that sense of balance and harmony and peace returns. And then you can deal with things so much better.
Yes, well done. It's especially challenging when you've got little people, I think, to find that time. My kids are 12 and 15 now, so I'm in a bit of a easier space for self-care. But for me, the self-care is essential. I do so much self-care, and that's how I thrive on purpose. And I know that if I go into stress or overwhelm or any kind of emotional reactions, I know that I've disconnected from myself, or there's another level of myself that needs attention. So for me, I do, you know, I walk my dog in nature. Nature is like essential to me. Even though I'm in London, I still find little nature pockets. I move my body. My girls and I started doing the couch to 5K run. So that, and then also trying to movement, yoga, stretching. I did just kind of some like weird dancing in my back garden this morning. Meditate. I connect. The other thing for me is connecting like with people like you, high frequency, soul aligned, heart aligned people that uplift me. And, you know, sharing obviously and supporting others really boosts me as well. But finding ways to really actively boost and to get back into that connection again. Because as you said, from that place, all of the fear or the stress, it melts away. And I've learned that over like the last 20 years with a, you know, strong meditation practice and yoga practice. But it's very easy, I think, when like what we're going through now, when it's, you know, very real and it feels terrifying. What I've learned is that the fear is never a positive thing, really. It can be there to wake us up, but you don't want to let that run you, because it completely clouds your perspective and point of view. I don't know for you, but it's like you can go from like a cloudy, rainy day to a sunny day based on just how you're feeling. So for me, in order to feel positive and to thrive and to stay on purpose and to feel effective in the world, all the self-care is essential. So I'm always trying to find that place of feeling, okay, oh yeah, I journal a lot as well. I write a lot as well, to like write it all out. So I'm always coming back to that center point every day, and sometimes throughout the day. So my reference point is if I'm feeling connected, I'm feeling calm, and I'm essentially feeling good. That's what I'm looking to come back to, which is a practice, right? It's not, it doesn't happen by itself. So that's been my care. And I'm taking lots of remedies, lots of immune boosting remedies, and some of them are yours. And, you know, things to really take care of my physical body as well.
I think that's a really important thing. I think, you know, we look at, sometimes people in the spiritual world forget about really nourishing the physical being, and vice versa. People who are very, very physically in the world forget about nourishing the spiritual being. And all levels of your being are so important. You know, your physical, your mental, emotional, and spiritual. They're all so intrinsically linked. And when we separate them out, I think this is when we can cause so many problems within ourselves, because we're not working on all the depths of our being. And that's one of the things I've been doing so much more with the plants is, you know, for years I've been teaching people how to physically work with plants, how to use plants to help heal their being, and, you know, how to take remedies, and what I'm working with now so much more, and it's such a joy. It fills me with such I can't even think of the word, but it's such a powerful thing, is when you just tune into the plants as well. So when you work with them physically, but also with that energetic intention, and you connect into the spirit and the soul of those plants. And yesterday, it's making me, I get quite emotional quite a lot when I talk about plants, because the power of them, you know, we forget, we look at trees and we look at flowers and we think, oh, they're pretty. And we forget about this process, which is unbelievable, of this seed that gets planted, that can be sat there dormant for so long, and then it gets planted in the earth, and water gets put on it, and soil and nutrients, and then out of that grows incredible life. And, you know, when you look at how plants grow, yesterday my littlest, who's 2.5, we were sat out on the grass in the playing field opposite us, and there were loads of daisies, and they were about to mow it with this big tractor, and we were sat there and we were looking at the daisies. I said, come on, we need to collect some of these really, they were calling, they wanted medicine to be made out of them. And daisies are really good to make you feel merry and to give you energy. They're very good to put on bruises and cuts and things like that, but you can just make a tea with them, or you can infuse them in water. And when you look at a daisy, it's such a ray of sunshine. It's this beautiful yellow, bright center, and then these white, radiant petals coming off it. And the ones we found yesterday had this incredible pink outer rim to them. I mean, they were stunning. And we sat there looking at them. And just by connecting into their being, we felt so uplifted. We felt such joy and happiness. And then when we took them and we made some tea and we put them in some water and infused the water with it, really simple things to do with them. You know, you don't have to be a herbalist to work with plants that are around you. That medicine was so much more powerful because we'd sat and tuned into the plant. And that is one of the things that I absolutely think is so essential for people to get into. And also to get into the fact that you don't actually even need the plant. Like once you start working with the vibrations of the plant, and you know what daisy does, and you can picture a daisy, you can just picture it and hold the energy in your being, and it moves through you. Yeah. And that is just phenomenal when you can start to work on that level. And daisies are actually, what's really interesting, part of the sunflower family. So, you know, when you think of a sunflower, most people get uplifted because it's this beautiful big head that's facing the sun, and, you know, beautiful yellowy orange petals, and it's such radiance, isn't it? So I think when we can tune into the energy on the spiritual level of the plants, we can get such healing. And what I found is that the answers are actually usually right on our doorstep. Like the plants that we need to work with are right there, growing in front of us, usually growing in such abundance.
That's amazing. I love your connection with nature and plants, and healing medicines. It's absolutely gorgeous. And for me, listening to it, it's like to understand, I think when we can stay out of fear and scarcity and connect on a deeper level, there's all of this medicine, there's all of this energy that's available right here, right now, and each and every moment, if we're attuned to it. And like you said, you can even be, there might not even be any daisies around you, and you can call in on that energy. And I know this well, you know, working with all sorts of different energies through all different levels of consciousness. And this is what's available to us. But we have to be open and willing to access it, to find it, to choose it. And I think it can be a real challenge when we're in immense stress and fear, scarcity and lack, that sense of uncertainty. It can feel like the shutters go down on that connection. And yet what I know, having worked, you know, with this stuff as well for a very, very long time, is it's about a choice in the moment to open up to life again and the magic of it. And it's not just a pretty flower, it's like this incredible energy. And for me, this is about, I feel like we're in a time where that energetic awareness is more available, more accessible to us now than ever before. I've never felt such energetic openings as I feel now. And at the same time, there's such heightened levels of stress and fear. So it really, like when I'm hearing you, it's like making a choice to come back to that high frequency energy, to come back to connection, and to let it be simple. Like even if you don't have money, you know, even if you can find ways to find that abundance, that healing energy, that support from life around us. So that's what I hear when you're sharing that story.
I think that's so true. You know, quite often people are worried about the financial thing of how can I get self-care, how can I, you know, because everything costs money, doesn't it, in people's minds when it comes to things like that. And I think in a way, the situation currently, we're blocked from doing so many things that do cost money, that we're made to return to the simple things of our breath, of meditation, of going out for walks in nature, of foraging. You know, there's so much food and medicine you can find for free in your local environment. And, you know, I know you put out so much incredible, amazing free content as well for people to tune into. And your webinars are so powerful when you help us, you know, guide people to dissolve through blocks. Just such powerful work that you're doing in the world, and it's so needed. What would you say is your most important, like if you were telling people like one thing, what would be the most important thing that people could do on a day-to-day basis to really help them connect with their abundance?
Good question. Well, it's a daily practice, and actually I do have, you know, a lot of kind of free resources on particularly on my YouTube channel, that can help take through a guided process as well. But for me, one of the key words that's really up for me at this time is empowerment, is remembering just how incredibly powerful you are, how incredibly powerful we all are. And we have not been taught that. That information has been not been available. And the truth is, we are immensely powerful, but we have to dig a bit deeper to find it, connecting to the wisdom of the heart. Like this is actually, you know, there's science talking about that, you know, the Heart Math Institute, for example, the intelligence of our heart, of our gut. So really landing and connecting to the body. So using the body as a vehicle to really activate your power, activate your ability to heal, activate your ability to consciously transform and change your life. So I talk a lot about manifesting and creating a life of abundance, but that abundance lies within you now. It's like the diamond in the rough. So all my suggestions and practices are all about coming back home to yourself. We get very distracted because of this disconnection between ourself and life. We tend to look outwards and we think that answer's out there, or it's out there. And yes, you know, life is going to dance with you and interact with you, but the activation of what you want to create starts within. We have to connect, which also means having to feel the feelings and be with the feelings. I'm a highly emotional person. I feel a huge spectrum of emotions most days. not every day, but you know, I'm an intense person. I feel, because I use those feelings now to activate me into new levels. So whatever you're feeling, breathe with it, be with it. Meditation, getting into nature, moving the body, journaling, simple, 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 but coming back in to really be and sit with yourself. Sometimes I also do voice recordings, like I talk to myself through a voice recorder. And that's when I'm in, all of those practices are designed to tap you in to that consciousness, that wisdom that's beyond the fear, beyond scarcity, beyond separation, and bring you back into that inner wisdom that's that's connection. How you are connected to the earth, how you are connected to all of life, and how you are connected to the universe. Our minds find it so hard to understand it, but the interconnectedness with all of life. And for me, this is really important for us as an individual to thrive, but what really, like, I feel this huge urgency about is that we have to wake up to this new level of connection if we're going to thrive on this planet, right? We're at a big choice point. So I see that it's waking up time for ourselves as individually, but also as a collective. Because once we come back to connection, we are going to make very different choices, right? So much of our choices, like with like our consumerist choices, come from the fact that we don't feel whole and complete. If we're whole and complete, it's much more sustainable. Abundance is much more resourceful, right? I was thinking about this the other day. If we're coming from a place of wholeness, connection, and abundance, we're less likely to spend a lot of money unnecessarily on cheap crap. We're going to use our resources to invest in something that's going to last, that's of quality rather than quantity. And maybe it's more simple, and actually you probably eat less because you're not gorging yourself on junk food to fill the void. You know, we're going to make it's much more sustainable to be in abundance. so really it's about coming back to connection. So it's simple practices, but with a powerful intention to come back into connection, to come back into abundance. And to, if your mind can't quite believe it yet, let's experiment and see. And let's see. And it doesn't mean it's all perfect. It's definitely not perfect for me. And I've been doing this work for a very, very long time. It's like, it's about riding the waves, being the great surfer. You're going to get knocked off the surfboard. Even the most professional surfers, they get knocked off the surfboard. They get back on again.
That's such a good analogy, because, you know, I think that was something that I always struggled with early on, is I thought that I had to always be on top form because I was teaching people. So I thought if I ever had a slightly low point, then how could I be teaching anyone, because I wasn't. And then I realized, it was a few years ago, I realized, because, you know, I'd be doing, it would always happen, I'd be doing a talk on how to boost your immune system, and I'd get a sore throat the night before, and I'd be like, oh no, it's a load of hypocrisy. How can I get up there and talk about this when my immune system's just gone down? And I got through that, and I breathed, and I was like, one time I was like, no, I just have to be truthful, because that's all this is about. It's about being truthful. Okay, so we're back after that slight glitch, sorry. So what I was saying was that what you were talking about is that we have to empower ourselves at this point in time, and it's really important to step into that power. And one of the things that I know for me, and I think that's the best place, you know, for you, I know that you teach very much through your experience, and that's how I teach as well, through what I've been through and what I'm living on a regular basis, because that's the truth of it all, isn't it? When we teach from that place of authenticity, it's so important. But one of the things that I think is so key about what you were saying was that we have to step in our power, but we're so many people, including myself to some extent, and for years, I'm much better now, have been so scared to step into our power, because that's not what we're taught, is it? That's not it's frowned upon, isn't it, in society, to really be strong, powerful women. Mm-hmm. You're usually considered a bit of a bitch, aren't you? Or it's the same with the self-care. If you care for yourself too much, you're selfish. So there's all these labels put on us, really stepping into that power that is our birthright. And I remember really clearly when I was a teenager feeling this, you know, I'd meditate a lot. I was really tuned in, and I would feel this energy moving through me of such power and beauty and strength. And I remember getting really scared by it in some ways, because I thought, my God, I can't be that big. Because what will people say if I'm that big? And then spent years like just trying to like limit that light, and then you go, oh my God, why did I spend so much time like hiding? And now it's about clearing all those blocks that we put in our own place. Yeah. and actually going, no, it's okay to shine that brightly, and it's okay to be different from other people, and it's okay to have your own views and opinions, and it's okay to really just be the light that you want to be. And it's not being big-headed, and it's not saying that you're better than anyone else, because that's not what it is at all. It's about saying that we are divine beings and we are here for a purpose, and to really embody that purpose is so important. And the more we embody it, the more we allow everyone else around us to embody it, and the more it connects us into the beauty that is life, and not the fear that can be life. You know, there's those two extremes, aren't there, in every moment. It's that pure beauty and exquisiteness that is this world that we live in, of amazing warmth and radiance and connection and heartfelt people, and you know, the incredibleness of this earth. And I think, you know, one thing that I find is that the more I can tune into the earth and know that I am one with the earth, I breathe with the earth, my heart beats with the earth, that can dissolve all the other stuff that's there. Just knowing that actually I am just one of these beautiful divine creatures, just like the trees, just like everything else that the earth is holding.
Beautiful, girl. And that's it. And I really strongly believe, well, my knowing is that's what we need to come back to, just our true abundant nature, and that we're loved and safe and supported. And we have a lot of work to do to come back into that connection, because there's so many energies designed to distract and disempower. That's within us individually, it's in our family systems, it's in society. And yet it's totally possible to move through it, but we have to have the courage to look at and face that which is not in alignment, that which is not going to bring us this ultimate connection and fulfillment. And it, honestly, I mean, this has been one of my biggest challenges. It's been my biggest, it's like that journey between following my purpose in my heart, coming back to what I know, and then the immense fear, terror, devastation of the idea of being judged or ridiculed, rejected, abandoned, have been my deepest blockers. What will people think if I come out in all this weirdness? What will people think if I'm thriving and I'm successful? What will people think? You know, who does she think she is? All these classic lines that like every woman I've spoken to say. So it takes a huge amount of courage and strength and focus. But once we land in, it's so simple. It's so incredibly simple. So that's the other thing, is if it's feeling complicated, it's out of alignment. Like truth is simple. Abundance is simplicity. But it does take where we have to sift through a lot of the junk to find that simplicity. You know, we have to sift through all the crap we've been accumulating to find that clean, clear feng shui space within ourselves.
And we have to keep working on it, don't we? It's not like you can do it once and then go, that's
God,
it,
no.
it's done. It's like the gut. So often, you know, I've spent years helping people get their gut back in shape, and so many people think with their gut that they can do it once and then forget about it. And it's the same as everything else. We have to keep doing these things like brushing our teeth. You have to brush your teeth today, just like you have to do all this work on a regular basis to keep yourself clear. There was a brilliant, I can't remember who said it, but there was a brilliant quote about the Ganges River. And the Ganges is in India, and it's a sacred river. And they say that if you go into the Ganges River, the Ganges will cleanse all your karma off you and clear it. And the saying is that the Ganges will do that, but it's sat there on the side waiting for you. So as soon as you get back out, jumps straight back on you, because we can't just instantly clear stuff without doing, you know, some people I think expect to go from 0 to 100 in one step and get frustrated when they don't and then give up. It's like with the food thing. People think if they can't master changing their life, their food choices and all of that in one instant step, then that's it. But it's those gradual steps. And what I find is that those gradual steps all lead up to a marathon that you've suddenly run. But you have to make those gradual steps, and it's keeping on going, one foot in front of the other, even if it feels like you've gone back 10 steps. Just keep moving, because each step that you go back is actually not. It's teaching you another lesson that's moving you forward, and it's that constant evolution of the soul.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important to remember. You know, we both know each other very well, but you know, I struggle still. I'm still challenged by this path, And that the only difference is I never give up on it. It's like, I'm committed to health. I'm committed to abundance. I'm committed to thriving. I'm committed to living my life on purpose. I'm committed to doing whatever I can to support others to do the same, you know, and yes, there's knocks, and yes, there's challenges. But it's about, getting back on. And then you realize how far you've come just by continuing to keep going. And it's not about perfection, right?
No.
I think this is what we need to, I'm so done with all the kind of online marketing of this very perfect idea of anything. Bodies, love, relationships, you know, business, money, whatever it is. I have the, the honor of supporting a lot of very successful people in their life and business, and everyone struggles. So if we could just get over that and realize that we're all human beings, we're not that different from each other. Huge self-love and compassion, and just start where you are, one step at a time. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Totally. And talking of that, like, what do you have in place that if people want to work with you more, what is it that you can do to guide them on this journey more?
Well, I have a few steps. Sort of my heart's desire is that I have information that's available to everybody on different levels. So my kind of higher end level, where I work with entrepreneurs and business owners, change makers, I have my Living Abundance Mastermind, which is a kind of high level program to help manifest powerfully to create a life of abundance in every area of your life, to really live your life on purpose and step into a new level of leadership. That is my mastermind and my one-to-one work. I also have a low-cost membership, which you can find out about on my website. I do put out a lot of free content on my social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So there's different levels. And I also have an opportunity, if you want to explore more, we can have a free connection call, and you can find that on my website on larawaldman.com. We can have a no pressure chat and see what's the best fit for you.
And I have to say, you know, I've had so many sessions with you over the years, and you've got such an ability to see so clearly into what's going on with someone, and it's such a powerful thing to do. And I know, you know, when I was working really hard, I think it was over 6 months we worked, and we met every week, and it was the thing that kept me sane. It really did. It was such a support. I think, you know, when you give a lot to the world, you really have to have that support in place for you as well, so that you're being guided and supported and held, just as you're holding people, so that your cup is always being filled up as you're helping fill others up. And I know that that's what you did so beautifully with me. It was such an incredible thing.
Oh, it's my greatest pleasure. And I actually think one of the secret sauce ingredients to success is support. That the most successful people are highly supported. They're not doing it by themselves. So this idea that somehow it's some kind of failure or weakness to get support is complete, utter nonsense. In fact, to really thrive, and I've learned this the hard way, you know, thinking I had to do it by myself. No, so it's a beautiful thing. And how about you, darling Juliette? What do you have on offer for people who at this time?
Well, it's really exciting actually. In 2 weeks, it's only 2 weeks away, on May the 4th. I thought that was quite a good time to tune into the source, or the fourth, or force. I'm going to start my 3rd round of my mentorship program, which is a 12-week program, which starts with a one-to-one consultation via Zoom, where I look into physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual things, where you're at on all levels. And then I devise a daily routine and plan with recipes to support that. And then over 12 weeks, we meet every week as a group. And it's a small group of a maximum 8 people, so we can really get intimate with each other. And that is such a powerful session to really connect people back into their inner wisdom. That's the whole purpose of the mentorship, is to connect us back into our inner, so we can listen to our body, so we can listen to that voice deep within us to know where we need to move forward. And each week there's a new plant that we look at on all those different levels as well, physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So we can start to understand and tune into the earth on that deeper level. And, you know, that's what I feel is my role is as an earth connector, to return people back into themselves through their connection to the earth. And so that starts, and I'm doing a free call with people if they want to know more about my mentorship. And again, I've got online courses pre-recorded online courses, I've got books, I've got all my supplements, I've got lots of free videos on YouTube as well. I'm putting more and more out there every day, and I've been doing lots of singing recently, so there's some new fun songs now on my YouTube.
It's brilliant. Honestly, Juliette, you give out such incredible information and content, and I highly recommend, even if you're not sure the mentorship program's right for now, but to get on that call with Juliette. If you want to feel uplifted and inspired and boosted, and to boost your immune system on every level, I recommend connecting with Juliette. She's so inspiring, honestly.
Thank you. I think the same about you. And I think that, you know, in this time, a lot of people are worried about how to move forward and what's happening, because we are in this limbo. And, you know, as I said, these cards are up in the air, but I think this is the perfect time to step forward and go, no, you know what? I'm going to now create the life that I'm meant to be living. I'm going to retune in. I'm going to focus on myself and what I need. And as you said, you know, getting that support is so important. I, like you, I always thought I had to do it by myself. And I thought I was a failure if I asked for help. And it was something I really struggled with. And when I started to let go and ask for help, I thought, why didn't I do this sooner? Like, what an idiot. Like, how come I didn't get it that we have to ask for support? And I daily ask the universe for support and guidance and help from whatever beings that I need help from, that they're guided into my life to help me take the next steps on my journey. And I think that's a really good place for people to start, if they can't physically ask people for help yet, is for them to tune in and ask the universe to show them and to guide them to the people that are there to support them and help them. Because the universe is so abundantly rich in every form, isn't it? That if we ask for that to come in, then we start to see the signs of where we need to go. And people pop up, like you. You know, I remember when I started to open up, you popped it into my life. And I think that's how it works, doesn't it?
Yes.
We ask the universe, and then suddenly, doesn't mean that person necessarily will be the right fit in that moment. Sometimes we have to ruminate and things, but once we make that connection, we can breathe into that next step with them, can't we?
100%. Beautifully said. It's that humility, the piece about humility and surrender and getting out of the way. And this is getting out of the ego, getting out of the mind that creates separation and drops you into a much deeper wisdom, which is connecting you to universal wisdom, earth wisdom, and that kind of heart and soul wisdom. So yeah, beautiful. And opening up to receive. I mean, this is, you know, what my abundance manifestation work, my money work's all about, is, oh my God, it's actually the intensity of receiving and just how loved and supported we are that's actually more uncomfortable for us. So yeah, one step at a time, calling that support in. One of my favorite questions, who or what can help me with this? Who or what can help me with this? Universe, show me. Universe, bring it to me now. And just opening up to receive. I surrender in humility. I don't know how to do this. Please help me. And then when we drop the ego, then it's like, woo, then suddenly pop, pop, pop. Not always instantly. Sometimes you have to be patient, keep asking, and it will appear.
Beautiful. Oh, wow. Thank you. It's been so lovely to talk with you and connect with you. And I hope that everyone listening has enjoyed this. For more information on Lara's work, it's larawaldman.com. Do check her out. Go onto her YouTube and watch some of her videos, because they are absolutely amazing. And check her out on Instagram and Facebook and all the usuals. Are you on MeWe yet?
No, I don't know about MeWe.
So MeWe is a new form of social media that is not being censored, that is not being shut down, that is all about trust, love, and cooperation. So check it out, because I think a lot of people are starting to shift over to there to get out of censorship and into that openness of communication. So
brilliant. I love it. And where are you at? You Juliette?
So JulietteBryant.com or Juliette'sKitchen.tv, either one. Juliette'sKitchen.tv on Facebook and on YouTube, and JulietteBryant.com is the website. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you all, and look forward to seeing you very soon. Lots of love.